Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from Los Angeles. I'm Alex Curry here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. Happy Friday, guys. How we doing today?
I don't know how happy this Friday is for me because I don't mind admitting publicly, I think my Cowboys are about to take another year off my life.
Cooper Rush. I got two words for you. Cooper Rush.
Cooper Rush?
Yeah.
Cooper Rush, and that's all I got?
Yeah.
That's all you got.
That's all you got right now. Let's dive right into that because Mike McCarthy was asked about possibly signing Cam Newton, and the Cowboys head coach seemed to dismiss the idea, at least for now. McCarthy said, quote, to sit here and talk about any of the players not on our roster, I don't think there's really anything that's beneficial that comes out of that for us. I've had a chance to compete against Cam, chance to watch some of his tape in New England. I still think he has a ton of football left, but we are excited about the group that we have. So, Shannon, are the Cowboys making the right choice by sticking with Cooper Rush?
Skip, it's really hard to say they're making a mistake right now, but here's what we know. Dak Prescott hadn't played football in 11 months. He played none of the preseason, and for the better part of the preseason, Skip, he had an injury that didn't allow him to throw the football. So you're rolling the dice saying we believe, although Cam hasn't played in 11 months, we know he's going into the season with a little injury. We believe that he's going to be healthy throughout the remaining of the season. Therefore, we won't need Cooper Rush or Cam. That's a big risk. That's a big ask when you have playoff championship aspirations, and you're going to pin that because you're only as good as your backup. Because if something happens to your starter, you're going to ask that backup to come in for a week or maybe longer, and he needs to stem the tide. He needs to hold it in the road and make sure you don't drive in the ditch. And so they believe Cooper Rush. Now, I don't know where all this newfound belief and faith in Cooper Rush have come from, because this is the same guy that they cut last year after they signed him to a 2-year deal. Get Andy Dalton off the strap heap, and they gave Andy Dalton, what, $7 million. They didn't believe in Cooper Rush then, but they believe in Cooper Rush now. The thing that they have going for them, Skip, is that there's no rush to sign Cam, because why? Cam didn't sign until late June last year. It didn't seem like a whole lot of teams were beating down Cam's door to get him into their building. So Dallas is saying, you know what? There's a chance that, hey, come late September, October, if need be, we can go get Cam then. So, Skip, for me to say right now it's a mistake, it's hard for me to say that. They believe in Cooper Rush for whatever reason. I don't know if you, because now, Skip, with the new rules, you can put a player that's 35, 36 years old on the practice squad, let him learn your system, and then if the situation arises, you can put him in the game. I don't know if you can do that with a guy of Cam's background, a former MVP, a Rookie of the Year, guy that's been to multiple Pro Bowls. I don't know if you can do that with him. But right now, they believe in Cooper Rush. And I don't really know how many different ways they can tell you, Skip. They're not really interested in Cam. Jerry kind of made that abundantly clear the other day. And then here come Mike McCarthy following it up. So I don't really know what else they need to say. It seems to me, if they do go in a direction of picking a quarterback up off the street, I don't believe it's going to be Cam Newton.
Okay. My turn, and I'm about to unleash on this.
You unleash on your Cowboys?
Because big picture, they are the team obviously being featured in Hard Knocks.
Correct.
We have one last episode. Episode 5 will air this Tuesday night, HBO.
Yep.
But it's starting to feel like, as much as I'm trying to love my team, as much as I like my team to win the NFC least, if you will, that my team is getting fuller and fuller of itself because it's on Hard Knocks. I told you, I thought it might be a good launching pad into the season. But all of a sudden, my team is acting like it's the defending champs of the National Football League.
They act like the Bucks, huh?
They are. They're conducting themselves with Bucks-like arrogance.
They
like
are.
if you didn't know the difference, if you were just dropped in from Mars and you heard these remarks from Mike McCarthy yesterday, you'd say, this team is riding high, man. This team is on top of the mountain. This team has showed the NFL what's what. You know, this team is in charge of this league right now because this team is saying, we are good. We are excited about what we have in-house.
Right.
We don't need Cam Newton.
Right.
Come on. Seriously? Cam Newton had a hard time last year in New England, so We're the Dallas freaking Cowboys.
Right.
We are America's team. We are the stars of Hard Knocks. That's how it's coming across to me. And it horrifies me because obviously they have proven under Mike McCarthy zero, big zero.
Correct.
And I'm starting to wonder about his motivational skills, number one, but more important, number two, was he just a product of your man Aaron Rodgers? Seriously, was he only a product of Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers? Obviously, he has no motivational gift at all. That is not his forte.
Correct.
And the more he tries on Hard Knocks to show us his personality, there is no personality. Jerry and Steven and Jerry Jr. love him because he's become kind of one of the boys, part of the family. And that's how they hired him that night. It went all the way to 4 o'clock in the morning over beer and nachos at Jerry's mansion until finally Jerry Jr. looked across the table at Jerry Sr. and said, "What are we waiting for?"
Yeah.
They're interviewing him, obviously, and it's like, let's just do it right now. And according to reports, they did. They inked it up right there. They went ahead and signed Mike McCarthy.
Right.
And they seem very happy with Mike McCarthy because he will do whatever he is told to do.
Correct.
So all of the above is coming from upstairs. It's coming from Jerry and Steven and maybe Jerry Jr., that they don't want Cam Newton. They're happy with what they have in-house. So I'm reading these comments from Mike McCarthy, and they're offensive to me because, look, I can't defend what Cam didn't do in New England last year, but I'm still a fan of his because for all the showmanship and all the social media and all that, I got it.
Right.
If you cut through all the exterior to what's inside, I'm talking about a baller here.
Right.
I'm talking about a man who won the MVP the hard way because he did it with his legs as well as his arm. He did it with his body as well as the Brady-esque just using your mind and arm to beat oppositions. He did it with legs and power football where he literally would take games over with physicality at the quarterback position in ways I don't think we've ever seen in this league. Help me out.
No,
have you ever seen anything like it?
No, but Skip, you said cutting through. But can you cut through that? Can you just look at Cam Newton and say he's a football player and not this big, outstanding personality that's going to take over your locker room?
He was born that way, and he's going to be that. I thought that would be intriguing to Jerry, who loves marquee value.
He does.
He loves box office.
Names.
Yeah, and Cam is a huge name with a huge following, and I think my quarterback, Dak Prescott, has proven enough and certainly been rewarded with enough of $75 million that I don't think he would be under any threat from Cam Newton.
Neither do I.
And I also think that Cam, just being in the quarterback room and on the practice field, would actually help spark Dak a little bit because Dak is coming across to me in Hard Knocks like he is now the king of the kingdom. He's operating like he's got a couple. Like he's got a couple of rings. Doesn't he act like that? And it scares me.
Yes.
He got his money, but he ain't got no rings. He's got nothing to show. And I'm going to have to say my least favorite stat in all of sports again, 6-11 in his last 17 starts is Dak Prescott. And when he was betting on himself down the stretch of the 2019 season, locked nose to nose with Jerry Jones in an impasse of a negotiation, what happened? He failed. At Jets, do I have to say him again? At Chicago, at New England, at Philadelphia, he just failed. Thanksgiving Day against Buffalo, it was kind of hard to watch.
It was.
Okay, so that's all I got, and that's all he's proven is next to nothing. And he threw for a ton of yards, historically great pace last year, and they were very close to falling to 0-4, and then Game 5, you know what happened. Okay, now, let's look at these remarks from Mike McCarthy. He says, but Cam, I've had a chance to compete against Cam, chance to watch some of his tape in New England. And he said one nice thing, I still think he has a ton of football left, but we're very excited about the group we have.
He got a ton of football left, but just not with us.
Timeout. Okay, so you have competed against Cam. Well, he has. He's faced him 4 times as the head coach of the Green Bay Packers. The first time he faced him was Cam's second NFL game. Do you remember what happened?
He threw for 432.
432 yards in that game. He did throw 3 picks in that game. They did lose 30-23 to Aaron and company. But even Aaron said in the locker room right after that game, I'm impressed. That kid's going to be really good. He raved about it. 432 yards. And again, Cam set a bar for himself that he could never quite live up to because he went 400 plus in the first one at Arizona and then back home against Carolina. And then he's never been able to do that again. The closest he came was at Seattle last year, 397. Okay. But my point is, Mike McCarthy witnessed 432. Okay, that's pretty good. So their record against each other, Mike versus Cam, is 2-2 because Cam did win the last two games. It was 2015 and 2017. And he threw for 297 in the first game. It was at home. And the both of them were at home. And then he